Welcome to Hate to Weight, where two lifelong dieters take on the struggles of weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We're not doctors, we don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Hello, Emily.
Hello, John. Could you tell I read that without having the script in front of me? All of a sudden, I added new words to that intro.
It
but
changed. I was like, oh, look at Emily changing the intro.
I know. I didn't mean to change it. I didn't pull up the thing, and I was like, I can do this. It's fine. We're on episode 102. Emily's got this. It's fine.
I liked it. I thought it was.
I did too. I like it.
Yeah, I liked it better. I think I liked that one better.
Great. I'll never remember what I said until I listen to it again.
So how was your week?
We're going right in, are we? Okay.
Yeah, I think, yes, we're going right in. And the reason that is because I'm in a full-fledged panic attack right now as we do this. All right, so I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I'm still trying to get through it. So I figured
How was your week? Well, my week was pretty boring, honestly. Like, let's go into your week, because
My week was terrible. I mean, I'm just losing ground. I'm having had binge eating attacks and panic attacks, and it's just been horrible. It's been a shit week. And I'm not even sure. Okay, so I have to go to the doctor's today at 3:30. I haven't been to the doctor's in forever. I haven't been in a store since this whole COVID thing starts.
Yeah.
So I bought a mask. I have a mask to put on when I go to the doctor's. Now I have to go to the doctor's. Who goes to the doctor? Sick people. Sick people are at the doctor's. And I know that at 3:30, I have to go there. Now, I have to throw myself into my vehicle, drive to the doctor's, throw myself out of the vehicle, go into this place. Now I got to pick up things that other people, like they're going to give you that the notebook or the clipboard with the thing.
I'm sure they've made it digital at this point. We've gotten notices from our doctors, like fill out these forms online at home and you can email it to us or do it later or something like that.
Well, one of the reasons I changed doctors is because I want to be with the doctor in my system. So why do you need for me to tell you my medication? My medication should always be in my chart. This is why I'm coming here. All right. I don't know this doctor from Adam. I don't know what he's going to say. I have no idea. I've never saw this guy before or anything. I just want a new doctor. So here we are. And I knew, and then my back went out last week. That's it too.
Mark's too. And I got to say, back problems, they fuck up your whole week.
God, they're horrible.
And my week too.
Yes, sure. Because when your back hurts like that, you can't do anything. You can't walk. You can't. Right. Sometimes when your back goes out, it's so bad, you can't even it's hard to wipe your butt. It's that bad. I
was going to say, bathroom time is when I cringe the most because I'm like, I don't know if I need to be there for this, for Mark. I don't want to be, but
that's love.
It is love. It's one of those things where I've done stuff for him before and he's like, I can't believe this is it. And I'm like,
yes,
we're going to be doing this. We signed up for this as younger, healthier adults. We signed up for this.
Should be in the vows for better or for worse.
There is health, sickness.
Right. And bum wiping.
I feel like before you get married, you really have to stretch into, okay, what does sickness in these vows really entail? And then look into how your body's going to age and how you're going to need other people to start taking care of you.
Yes.
Because I see what my dad and his wife, what his wife does for my dad who has been very sick. And I'm like, that's love. That is pure love.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God. I can't even. I am going to be 59 this year, and I have yet to have somebody wipe my backside. That's a pretty good streak. Well, except for when I was a younger kid.
I got the mental image of streak.
Once I was able to do it myself, nobody has ever had to do that duty for me.
Right. That's another reason why, to me, doesn't mean anything. It's just a bigger butt to wipe. I might as well just be wiping everybody's butt in this house.
Oh, that's true. You have, right.
I'm always around wiping butts.
Yeah, I did when my kids were little.
I think the majority of butts I wipe are not mine.
I never thought of that. Yeah, I used to do it too. It wasn't that big of a deal, but they were much
those were
smaller.
little butts.
Yeah, they were little tiny butts. With the bigger ones, I don't know. Anyhow, so yeah, I have to go there. It's been just a crazy, crazy week, and I've been trying to, I guess, do the one meal a day, but or at least stay in my window, and I have stayed in my window. But there's been some major binging going on, and I had a rough Monday, like a real. Or was it Tuesday? I had a real rough Tuesday. It's one of those things where you really want to reach out and talk to somebody. And I wasn't sure who to talk to. I didn't have, I could have talked to Sam, but it's early in the day and she has to go to work. And I want to unload that onto her because she's got a stressful job. And then, you don't want to do it. You don't want to call your kids or anything like that. I almost wanted to start a podcast. To me, this is... Jennifer says, try wiping your parents' bums. No.
Yep, that's why I'm so grateful for my stepmom. If she ever listens, thank you. I love my dad, but there are things I never want to see on my dad.
My mother got real sick with cancer, and near the end, my sister had to do that to my mom. And thank you, Regina, because I wouldn't have been able to do that. I mean, I would have if I had to, but I wouldn't have liked it at all. Not at all.
I mean, on top of like seeing somebody very sick close to you.
Yeah. Oh, my poor sister had to go through that.
Hard.
Yeah, my dad, he went a wheeze and a thud, and he was gone. So there was no bum wiping for him.
It's weird. I've been thinking a lot about death lately, and I'm just like, that's the way to go. Like,
yeah, I'm not lying to you.
I'm on board.
That's what was going on with me Monday. Monday, I was like, what am I doing here? I'm just waiting to die. Can't go outside. Stupid knees. You can't even walk around. You can't do. What's my quality of life? I'm just sitting here waiting to die. I was giving up audio editing. I was quitting the business. I was done with it all.
Was this all from your back, or did something happen?
Well, there's been there's some things that have happened. I can't really get into that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that was part of it. And I was like, you know what? I don't care about any of it. I just want to quit editing. And my daughter's like, you can't quit editing. That means I'm going to go get a job. And I was like, no, you can do your shows and I'll give you some of the ones that I have. And you pick that out and tell the other clients, sorry about your luck. You can go find somebody else and, go get somebody.
Was this whole thing work related or personal related?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was a lot of bit of both. I think it was a lot of the everything. And then Wednesday, I guess, so my daughter was talking to me Tuesday. I talked to Sam after work, and I still don't know if I want to edit. I really don't. I don't know if I want to edit anymore. I've come to the point now where I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah.
I think in my heart of hearts that maybe I should cut back. I think that's what I should do. I think I should cut back to give myself some more time to do other things, because there's sometimes I sit down in here and, it's too much. It's too much. So, and I made it that way. I did this to myself. I know this because I used to throw myself into editing because it was something to do. I didn't have to go watch TV. It was no TV watching or anything. It kept my mind busy. It kept everything else going.
Yeah. I get really relaxed when I'm in editing mode, actually. It's kind of nice.
I do. And then there's some shows I edit and then, the eye rolling starts and I'm like.
That's why I only take on clients where I'm like, I need to like your show or else I will not edit you well.
Well, I get that. But there's some shows that like everything has changed now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm editing part-time, so I only have to hear about people talking about COVID part-time, as much as I need to. And luckily, a lot of my shows don't deal with that all the time, which is very nice.
Well, the thing is, as an editor, because there was time, I remember one time I was I was talking to a client who does a podcast about pornography. Mm-hmm. And so she says to me, you have a problem with that? I said, no, I don't care what your podcast about. And then I had another client who our opinions couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
We were on top of, and the thing about it was, I was like, well, she wants her show out and it's none of my business what she thinks. And it's not. As an editor, you just edit. but you have to listen to edit. You have to listen to the show to edit. So you're listening.
I learned that real quick. Like the first time I was just starting and I was worried about getting clients, and I had a client that his podcast put me to sleep, and I was like, I can't work with you.
I've had that too.
I was sick at the time, but at the same time, it's like, I can't do this every week. Even if I'm not sick, this is kind of...
Right. So...
For academics, they would love it. I'm just not the audience.
I never said a word. I just continued to edit. And then finally, I think she stopped the podcast, to be honest with you. And she's like, yeah, I can't, I don't think I'm going to have you edit anymore. And I'm like, oh, well, if you ever need me back, thank you very much. But in my heart of hearts, I was like, oh, thank God. And again, as an editor or in any job you do, I see these poor people that are in supermarkets now. And you have the maskers, and now we have the anti-maskers. And the anti-maskers, they have a rule. Don't come in without a mask. And these poor people that work in this store have to go up to the anti-maskers and tell them to put a mask on. And then they got to hear nonsense from them. And I'm like, oh my God, you should be able to just tase them and throw them out of the store. Here's the thing. None of these people that are in the store made this law, made this rule. It's all from people above them that aren't in the store. And all they have to enforce the rule, which is unfortunate. And then people come in and they're like, well, I'm not wearing a mask. And you're like, well, you can't come in if you don't wear a mask. And then they start all this nonsense, and it's, oh my God, just either go find a store you don't have to wear a mask at. Go shop there, please. Do the world a favor.
Pay the extra $20 to Instacart your order so that you don't have to wear a mask.
You know who doesn't go in the store? This guy. This guy hasn't been, I'm telling you, I have not.
Us too. We're Instacarting everything. And Connecticut winning in COVID, by the way.
Right?
Yeah. Like our cases are going down.
Yeah.
Because everyone in Connecticut, I have a theory that people in Connecticut are the introverts who can't stand Boston or New York City for too long. And so they come and live in Connecticut. And so we are so used to social distancing, like it's not even funny. We have to social distance ourselves from cities to live in Connecticut.
I have everything delivered. Everything delivered to this house.
I know.
And so I don't go out into that crazy world. But again, here's another thing I did that made me feel a lot better, is I took Facebook and Twitter off my phone. I only go on once or twice a day because I started the Bullhorn. The first episode of the Bullhorn came out last week. Mm-hmm. So I go in there to do some promotion on there or check a couple things, and I don't go into Facebook. I go in, I check, a couple things. I turn off the notifications. I turned the notifications off on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, I did that years ago. Oh, I can't stand when I love Instagram. I won't do notifications. And every time I sign in, they're like, would you like notifications? You're missing the notification. I'm like, no.
No.
When I sign into the app, I will get the notifications. Thank you very much. I don't need that little red circle. I mean, on iPhone, it was really stressful because it was always a red circle. But on Android, at least it's like a nice little calming dot, but it's still a dot. And it's still a notification that's going to pop up. Get the hell out of here, Shirley, who liked a post that wasn't even relevant to me.
Right. And then that's where I said, that's where I need the pop-up, is when you see something and you go charging into the comments. I need that little thing that says, are you sure?
A little pop-up. Maybe Clippy can make a comeback.
Yeah. Clippy. Remember Clippy?
Yeah.
Clippy.
Hey, it looks like you're writing a mean comment on Facebook.
Right.
Do you want to maybe pull back? Is this person really worth it? Yeah. Are you going to change someone's opinion?
No, you're not. You're not. Again,
I would like if Clippy to be like, that's a good meme. This is perfect.
Right. And then I went in and I did a lot of unfollowing.
Oh, nice.
I did. I did a lot, not unfollow. I unfriended. I unfriended a shit ton of people because I don't need it in my space. Okay. That's what you believe. And you're constantly telling us what you believe.
Yeah, constantly. There are some people where I signed on to Facebook and I'm like, oh, you're back in my feed. Has it been 30 days already?
Yeah, you got to mute them. Right. Yes, exactly.
Because you snooze those people sometimes. You're like, I don't want to unfollow you. Maybe in 30 days you'll have calmed down. And then a lot of them haven't.
No. And it's a sin because I think, in a way, social media has done this to us, where if you saw them in person or you wouldn't talk like that. Or I don't know. Or you share something and, there's times where I put something up and I come back like at the end of the day and all my friends are fist fighting in the comments. Because I have friends on both sides of the aisle of this nonsense. And they're all in there fist fighting in the comments. I was like, hey.
I think it's always funny when, like, I see in these groups, I don't know, the really long posts that take forever. And it took the poster forever to write it and craft it and make it in the way they want to do. And then they make these posts and it's all about, I can't get clients. And it's like, stop being on Facebook. Get off of Facebook. Go get your clients off of Facebook. Come on.
Yeah, I'm
Scrolling
guilty.
is not networking.
Yeah, I'm guilty as charged. Absolutely guilty as charged. So
but you have too many clients.
I guess. Well,
or a lot of clients.
Yeah. I think what I really want to do is I want to change some clients. I just want to get I want to upgrade some clients I still have clients from 3 years ago that I started their podcast for them. I uploaded everything into their file hosting and I put their stuff in Apple and they're at like 275 episodes.
Yeah. I had the same thing. I had a client celebrate 3 years with me and I'm like, I didn't even realize I had been podcasting for 5 years until she said that. And I was like, wait, you're 3 years. And that's,
Right. I've never raised their price. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've raised her price.
Yeah, I've never done that.
I did it on the first of the year, this year, actually, before COVID. That was the first time I raised my prices, was the beginning of the year.
I just think I need to find, there's some clients that I love listening to their podcasts. I learn something, as I'm editing, I learn something all the time, and I love that. Mm-hmm. And then there's other ones where I'm like, boy, here we go.
The walking podcast I edit, the Wellness While Walking, I really if I weren't editing it, I would take it and walk with it for 30 minutes. But because I'm editing it, I'm like, I kind of sit up a little straighter in my desk while I'm doing it, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not been a good week. And then you know what? It'll probably be all better once I go to this doctor. Like my stomach right now is churning.
Mm-hmm. Is this a doctor for a
just
regular checkup?
Just regular primary checkup. And again, I don't even know what he's going to do because I don't even know how close he's going to get. And I've been freaking out. I've been freaking out for a week.
Have they sent you anything, like their protocols or anything?
They just said, wear a mask. Because
when Mark went, because he went to the orthopedic doctor for his back. And he said that when he walked in, he wore a mask. Everybody wore a mask. If you were waiting, you waited outside. And he was like, I actually wasn't too nervous because they really took the precautions. And also because it was an orthopedic doctor. It's not like people with COVID were coming in and being like, my back hurts because of COVID. They're not, I don't think it's a very COVID heavy place.
Like I said, my standard joke is my back goes out more than I do. So when mine went,
Jennifer, by the way.
Oh, it's funny. I saw this and I didn't read it. I couldn't read it. So it says we're both of us are valuable. Yeah. Well, I think Emily knows that. So
I know John's valuable.
No, thank you.
I don't always see my own value. So thank you, Jennifer. She says you need to know you're valuable, John and Emily. So thank you, Jennifer, in the chat. Yeah.
The back thing, I jumped on it right away. I have a TENS unit. So as soon as I started to tweak, I put that on. I was ice and heat, and I took some Tylenol, and I was stretching it and everything. So I kind of caught it before it went full out, but it still took me almost like a good 4 days before I felt where it wasn't twitchy. Mm-hmm. And because when it goes out fully, it's a 5-week. If it goes out fully, I won't be able to do the show for 2 weeks. Because I won't. The first week you can't even sit up straight. I can't even sit in a chair, which is horrible. So when Mark said, when you told me Mark his back went out, I was like, oh, good God, that's the worst.
Yeah, and that was 2 weeks ago, and he's still dealing with it now. Yeah, it's not as bad, but it's still
you can't. Everything you do, you think about. Every move you make, every breath you take, you'll be thinking about your back. So, yes.
It's really what Sting was singing about.
Right, Sting, yes. And I guess my drug of choice is Taco Bell.
Uh-huh.
So when I go to Taco Bell, There should be a pop-up at Taco Bell that when you start your order.
This is the episode where we would like to add pop-ups to everything now.
As you start to order, this pop-up should come up and say, "Isn't that enough? You're in ordering 2-drink territory now." Like, remember when I said before that I would order 2 drinks so it didn't look like I was ordering it all for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, your order's almost in 2-drink territory. Do you really want to get that second drink? It's been so bad that Sam keeps saying, "You think maybe you should go back to the therapist?" I'm like, no, I don't even know what I would tell them. I have no idea what I would even say. When I went to the therapist before, it was for binge eating. And again, it's the guy thing. You get a cut, you wrap a rag around it, and you put some duct tape on it. You'll be fine.
So the thing with that, and I believe Brene Brown talked about this, and she's like, her books are amazing. She's really great. It's a really nice thing to read and get your head in a very nice space. And she talks about that sort of stuff, especially with anxiety. And it turns into something like a thorn that's in your arm. And instead of trying to pull the thorn out, you're just going to spend your entire life avoiding it. And it's going to be tender. And maybe you'll put like some wraps on it to keep people from hitting it or keep yourself from hitting it. But it's still just always going to be there until you go in, take those wraps off, and finally deal with the freaking thorn and not just drive yourself nuts trying to live your life around this thorn. And Jennifer says, do telemedicine therapy appointment, John. It works.
Telemedicine therapy. Oh, we talk to him over the phone. Ooh.
Like over Skype, like something like this. Somebody more qualified than me who took a life coaching course and is like, yep, that was fun. Now on to meditation. Now on to a Reiki course. Why not? I really like courses more than books at this point. I think because of the quizzes.
I think there's a couple places where they're online therapy places.
Yeah.
I think there are. You know what? That might be worth a shot.
And you'd be on your microphone. It would basically be like a podcast that you're not even... And then, you know what? And I could see you during your therapy appointment being like, okay, I know the whole HIPAA thing, but can I record this? Because I might make a podcast out of it. Why not?
Right. Well, okay. Yeah. But no, I was thinking more of, like there would be sound effects. Like
you could have your soundboard. Oh my goodness. If you can't express your emotion.
Right.
Yeah, just press Don Rickles. Just go, this is what's in my head. If you want to hear what's wrong with me, this. All the time. Don Rickles. Don Rickles.
So there you are, Tubby.
Right. And then, when I was in the line at Taco Bell and, I was looking at the menu and I knew I shouldn't order this much. And then it was like,
I'm not even sorry.
I could do stuff like that.
Oh, it's so funny that people have me saying I'm not even sorry in their head when I don't have me in my head saying that. I have Joey from Friends saying that. And I have him sitting back, face full of cake after he ate his date's dessert while she was in the bathroom. And he just sits there, I'm not even sorry. Just, so proud of himself.
Then the therapist has a soundboard, and then she would just say, okay, I got it.
Stop it!
That's all you have to do.
Oh my goodness. A therapist with a soundboard. This is what needs to be a thing, people. This is how John will go to therapy if you tell him, John, it's a podcast.
Right.
We have a soundboard.
And then afterwards, they would play.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but that was one of the bigger train wrecks we've had, and we haven't had one like that in a long time.
Oh, I love hearing Jessica on our show. Hi, Jessica.
Anyhow, so I have to go to the doctor's at 3:30. And as much as podcasting usually gets me out of, like I feel better after this, it's still just like it's all in here. It's all in the center of my chest. It's all the anxiety that I feel. Like I want to eat. I want to go eat. And I'm just fighting it.
Stephanie in the chat room mentioned betterhelp.com. So we'll put that link in the show notes if anybody is interested in telemedicine therapy. We'll put betterhelp.com. I think there are a few other places. If you check your insurance, I know with us, because that was something that I was looking into, and with our insurance, it does cover some telemedicine therapy.
Oh,
so.
How about that? I think, you know what? I think it's a good idea. I mean, as far as, again, why do you have to be sitting there with the therapist?
I would have liked it so much better. I hated being in the therapist office. I really did. Like, I was just like, I'm not comfortable in here. It's a desk with a bunch of books and stuff. and it's cold. Like, I actually wanted the couch therapy that you see. I'm like, I'm great on a couch, staring at a ceiling, great. But when I'm in a room and I'm like, okay, I'm either in a therapy session or getting my insurance information down or doing my like, it felt very officey, and I never really could open up until the end when I was finally like, okay, I'm finally comfortable here. Let's get into the deep stuff. And oh, nope, time's up. Yeah, remember that for next time. No, that's not going to happen. You diagnosed me with ADHD. Why are you telling me to remember something for next time? Come on.
Yeah, I'll see a story. Right, I'll see a story and I'll make a joke about the story, and I won't take the I won't write the joke down. And then later on that day, I'm like, oh, what was that joke I was thinking of? And I can't remember it. So then the next day, I'll go over something, and someone will mention about the story. I'm like, oh, that's the story. And here's the joke. So, and this is the joke. I don't know if you noticed, but in Yellowstone just a couple of days ago, a woman was taking pictures with a bison, like a real bison. Oh, and she kept getting close to it. And the bison charged the poor lady. She was 70 years old. And it gored her. And unfortunately, she's in the hospital. But that's true. But also, the rangers investigated. And they're not blaming the bison because the bison did use its horn.
Did he?
Where's my rim shot? So anyhow, I didn't say they were good jokes. I just said they were jokes.
Yeah, there are some things that's actually funny. One of the things with ADHD is there are a lot of comedians who have ADHD because of the quick connections we can make with our mind to things that like might not be relevant. But when you say it in the context of a joke, if you can get the timing right, it's so unexpected that it's very funny to people. And the problem with that sometimes is knowing what would be funny 10 or 15 years ago and being like, stop. We're going to stop with that connection right now and get rid of that because that's no longer acceptable to talk about or to make jokes about. It never was, stuff like that. So that's something that I'm noticing with comedy where I'm like, oh, this is a really funny joke. And I'll tell my husband and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not funny anymore. No, never mind.
See, I still find it funny. Still find it funny. It was the same way when I was working in management. And they would tell you on Monday that Friday you're going to lay off 2 teams of elevator workers. And you had to work all week with that.
Oh, God.
And you knew that you were bringing them in Friday. And it was just that you couldn't sleep and all that. But the thing was that the more that happened, the more I got used to it, the more it wouldn't bother me as like, in other words, the first time it happened, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat all week. It was horrible.
Yeah. And
then you'd come in and they give you like a course on how to do it, what to say and what not to say, so you don't get sued later. And they said, just go with the script. And then you go with it. And then most of the time, people in the elevator business, they were used to it. They're union workers. They get laid off. They work. They come back. Whatever. So it wasn't that bad, but it was worse. And I'm not saying it was worse on me because I still had a job. That's the way I look at it.
I had a boss who was letting me go and I was upset. And she goes, do you know how hard this is for me? And I wanted to be like,
she did
fuck
not.
Off.
She did not say that.
Yeah. She was like, I'm sorry. Do you know how hard this is for me to have to do this? And I wanted to be like,
oh my God. I would have put her on blast. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she was how I learned about gaslighting and what that is. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good gracious. Hey, not to put you on the spot, but do we have big fun?
We have big fun. We do.
Gotta get into big fun.
I didn't have a big week. Mark's back is still, I'll go through my week quickly. We're doing potty training. That's stressful.
Yay!
We've been doing it for a while, but we really have to do it. The biggest diapers they have are 7s, and my son is going through a growth spurt, and they look like thongs on him at this point. They're just, it's ridiculous. We really have to get him potty trained.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's very big, and he just went through another growth spurt, which meant 3 weeks. This is something I didn't mention because it's just great, he's going through another growth spurt on top of COVID, on top of Mark's back going out, on top of all the social justice issues happening at the same time. Also potty training and a growth spurt. Surprise! But his growth spurt means that he hasn't been sleeping very well. Monday was the first day in 3 weeks Mark and I both got 8 full hours of sleep. And we woke up like, oh oh my gosh, what is this magic? Oh, they should put this in a pill or something. And it's like 8 hours of sleep, just 8 hours of sleep.
He's 3/4 the size of your daughter already.
He is. I accidentally put a shirt on him that was hers, and I didn't know for half the day because it's like the same size. It was just a little baggy. He's a big 3-year-old. He's the size of a 9-year-old almost. But yeah.
He is huge.
Oh, yeah. He is very big. He's not fat. He's just like super tall and like.
Yeah, he is just a big kid.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to be a football player. And I'm like, no.
I was thinking the same thing.
I know. Mark's like, he's going to be so good at hockey. And I'm still just like,
he's too big for hockey.
Apparently not. Apparently, like for defense, he's fine.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to get into big fun?
Yeah, let's get into big fun.
Let's get into big fun. All right. Let me find the tab. I have all of these tabs open. Okay. I did learn a new word called fit-splaining.
What is fit-splaining?
What do you think fit-splaining is? This is fun.
Okay, fit-splaining would be if you were doing something, like say you were doing yoga and I came over and said, that pose is supposed to be that way. You kind of have to, your foot's supposed to be turned this way. Is that fit-splaining?
Yeah. If you're not an instructor and you're doing that. But also fit-splaining is something like when people look at a fat person and they have been healthy and skinny and no problems their entire life, and they just say something like, well, why don't you just eat less?
Eat less and move more. You know what you should do? Hey, hold on. I've been doing, you know what? I've never had a weight problem. And I think I know what you should do. You should eat less and move more.
And they say it and they like drop the mic like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, really?
What have I been doing this whole time? Do you even put food? Where do you put food? I've been putting it in my eyeballs. Where do you put food? Oh, in your mouth? No.
Eat less and move more. Really? I never thought of it. No one's, something? 58 years, no one has yet to tell me to eat less and move more. You fucking moron.
Yeah. So fit-splaining is a thing. It's in Urban Dictionary. I came across it in this article. Actually, this really fun blog, and I'll put the link to it in the show notes because it was really fun to read. And this woman was talking about potato salad. And then underneath it, there's like the guy's perspective. And he's like, all right. Stop with the fit-splaining. I get potato salad isn't healthy, and you're going to tell me all the ways to make it healthy. But here's the thing, fat is good. Get over it, you fit-splainer. Yes.
Again, here's the thing. Potato salad has a lot more carbs. It's very carby.
It's carby, but the thing was, she was harping on the fat part, and he's like, no, that's not the problem.
Thank you. It's not the problem. It's the you're going to fit-splain me wrong.
I'm glad I gave you a new word.
Right. You know what you need to do? You need to take a seat and read a book. You've been gaslighted about fat.
I feel like there's a special name for Karens who fit-splain.
Oh, we can't say Karens anymore. We have to say the K word.
Yeah. My stepmom's name is Karen, and she has talked to managers. Like, she is who the meme is based on. She talks to all the managers. My dad's in the hospital, and she goes, I still want to talk to a manager. It's like a doctor. He's like,
right.
Okay.
They said, you know how hard it is for people named Karen? I said, really?
I know.
My name is John. I'm named after a toilet and a guy who uses a prostitute. Take a seat over there.
The Karen and John support group.
Right.
The Karen, Kevin, and John support group.
So you can do one-arm push-ups, just tighten your core, and have a really strong arm.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing.
You know, when my anxiety gets heightened, I also get I get ranty and funnier usually.
You get punchy.
Oh, I'm punchy.
I see there's a Facebook user who I can't.
I was trying to find out who it is. Oh, it's Teresa.
Oh, Teresa.
Teresa's here.
Her podcast is all about debunking the myth. Who said that?
No. Oh, there's another one? Oh.
Veronica. Veronica, what's your podcast? And if you've told me before, forgive me for forgetting.
I didn't know we had another podcaster.
We have a lot of podcasters in here, actually. So we're going to get into big fun. By the way, we just found out in our chat room that one of our listeners, Veronica, has the podcast Fat Loss Success Stories, and she talks all about this sort of stuff. So go check her out. We'll have a link to her show in the show notes. And now let's go to big fun. We have a 4th of July themed quiz. So I apologize to anyone outside of the US, but it's not too patriotic. You don't really need to know a lot of American history for it, except for bonus question. But it's a bonus question, so it doesn't really count. And the points don't matter. All right, John, are you? I feel like I always feel bad picking on you because I'm like giving you quizzes. So
You give me your best shot.
Okay.
I love this.
Okay, cool. All right. It is common to grill these 4 things: hot dogs, burgers, chicken, and steak. Can you give me the order of popularity from most popular to least popular?
I'm going hamburgers, hot dogs, steak. No, hamburgers, hot dog, chicken, and steak. Was chicken in there?
Yeah.
All right. Hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, steak.
You have 1 correct.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you have the first
So
one correct. Burgers is number 1.
Oh, so then it's, okay. So then I would say it's burgers, chicken, steak, hot dogs.
No.
Okay. I give up.
Chicken is last.
Chicken is last.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That shocks me.
I know.
I would think hot dogs are last. Everybody says I want hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill. So hamburgers is always first. Hot dogs, I guess, would always be second.
Steak.
Steak is second.
Steak is second.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then hot dogs. And then
All right.
chicken.
Okay.
We never usually cook chicken on the grill unless it's a
No?
barbecue where we're cooking like everything is getting grilled. But if it's chicken, I don't know. We don't really grill it as often. I feel like we could. We should grill it more often.
There's nothing better than a grilled chicken thigh. I always say chicken thighs are the fat man's chicken wing.
Chicken thighs are amazing. It's the first.
Yes,
you
they
know what's funny?
are.
Like growing up, I heard white meat all the time. You should have white meat. Red meat is bad, and so dark meat. I didn't have dark meat until I was older, and I was like, oh, that's where all the flavor was. What?
Do you know why they say dark meat is bad? Do you know why?
Was it something that they told kids so that we
No.
wouldn't eat all the dark meat? Because that's stuff my parents did. That's shit they
No.
did to me.
Dark meat has the fat in it.
Mhm.
That's why it's bad for you. They say it's bad because it has the
And
fat.
fat's not bad. That could be a slogan for our show. Fat's not bad.
Fat's not bad. You know what? Fat's not bad.
Fat's not bad.
There's another joke where it says, you know what's going on? That how they say that, things expand in heat? I just realized I'm not fat. I'm hot.
Like it. All right. Most beef hot dogs, steaks, and burgers come from 3 states in the U.S. Name 2.
Texas.
Yep.
And that's more, I want to go Montana.
No. I'm sure that's up there, but it's not one of the top 3.
Okay. So then,
Hot dogs, steaks, and burgers.
right. So I'm thinking, Texas, I'm going to go Oklahoma.
Nope.
Damn.
You're in the right area. You're in the area. Like, you're right there.
Right. So I'm just trying to think what else is out there. Who else grows a lot of beef?
Jennifer guesses Texas, Florida. You got Texas right.
Yeah, Florida, no. Florida just raises wild pigs. Let me think. Texas and I can't think of another place that would be Kansas.
Kansas is one. Yep. That's the third
There
one.
we go.
Mhm.
Okay.
Number 2 is Nebraska, as in Omaha Steaks.
Oh, it's funny because I went with Kansas because I know Kansas City Prime. Kansas City Prime is a steak thing.
Yeah.
How about that? Nope, not Iowa. But Iowa, I'm sure. Iowa's
Iowa
all
is
corn.
actually the number 1 state for where our hot dogs come from. So there's
Really?
a good chance that your hot dogs come from Iowa. I know, of all places, you're like,
Iowa? Listen, I've never seen I was in Iowa one time. I've never seen so many corn fields in my entire life.
yeah.
Just miles and miles and miles of cornfields. It's crazy. Like you'd be driving and it'd be all corn, and all of a sudden it would open up and there was a town. I was
Yeah.
like, holy cow. So, all right, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, this is fun. I like the tangents. On average, do Americans spend more on condiments or chip and dip for the 4th of July?
I'm going chip and dip.
It's condiments.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, you have to have ketchup, mustard, relish, onions and stuff like that. I would imagine you would have to have that. So, but I always think that you always have that on hand.
Yeah.
You would have to buy it. But you always got to go. No one has dip and chips on hand usually.
Yeah.
So.
No, but apparently we
that?
spend more on condiments than chips and dip around the 4th of July. According to Time magazine, the average American eats more than 50 hot dogs a year or less than 50 hot dogs a year. Fewer than 50 hot dogs a year for your grammar people.
Average hot dog eater. I have a feeling that the vegans are going to throw a wrench in my
Just the
prediction.
average American. Yeah.
Average American. Okay. I'm going to say more.
That's right. They eat more than 50 hot dogs a year. They eat 70 hot dogs a year.
Yeah, I'm a big hot dog eater.
Yeah,
I
me
like
too.
hot dogs.
There are days where I want 2 hot dogs too. I'm not like, one is never enough. I want like 1 and 2 more bites of a hot dog.
I eat 4 at a time. So how I do it is I take a knife and I spiral cut them and I put them in the microwave. Unless I'm going to dirty water dog them and boil them. I like a good dirty water dog.
Yeah. I know
So.
people who are very adamantly against microwaving hot dogs, and that was one of the first meals that I learned how to make by myself. I was so sick of my parents, like, just tell me how to make a hot dog. I'll parent myself. Just tell me how to make a hot dog. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of chopping them up, frying them up, and then throwing eggs in. I love eggs and hot dogs. Eggs, hot dogs, and cheese is one of my favorite breakfast things. Yes.
Interesting. The 4th of July beats out other holidays like Memorial Day, Labor Day, and the Super Bowl when it comes to the purchase of this beverage.
Beer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, this is the number 1 holiday for beer.
For beer,
That surprised me
yes.
over the Super Bowl, though. But I suppose, I guess, yeah.
It is shocking that it is more than the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some people that don't. Okay, so there's some people that, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but there are some people that don't like football. But everybody usually in the United States, drinks on 4th of July.
Yeah. I don't like football, but I'll go to a Super Bowl party. I'm here
Okay.
for the food. If you invite me to a party, just tell me what kind of food. I don't need the theme or what's going on.
Right.
Just tell me the menu. I'll be there.
Exactly.
Or if you have a cat. If you're like, I'm having a party, there's going to be a lot of food, there's going to be a cat. I'll be there. It's fine.
Okay.
When John Adams sat down with his wife on the first 4th of July, they ate poached salmon with egg sauce, green peas, boiled new potatoes, and this soup made from the meat of this reptile.
Snapper soup.
What's a snapper?
Turtle.
Yes, it is a turtle. I just saw turtle soup, so I don't know.
Oh,
if it's
turtle soup.
It's turtle
Yes.
soup.
This area is big for snapper soup.
Yeah?
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever had turtle soup.
Oh, you've never had snapper turtle soup?
No.
Sometimes what you do is you take a little sherry, and you put it across the top of it. Oh, it's so good. And
What is it like? Is it like a chicken noodle soup?
it's a dark brown kind of broth, and the meat is tender, but it's really good. I can't say it tastes like this.
Yeah,
It has a very
that's
unique
what I want.
taste.
Like, what does a turtle taste like? Tell me what
Oh,
fowl it's the
it's
closest
really, really
to.
good.
But I suppose like chicken, beef, pork, turtle must be its own thing.
Here's another joke. I remember I was about 15 years old, and I was out with somewhere, and it was with my dad and my uncles. And so we're sitting there, and my uncle says something like, "Oh man," he says, "this is snapper." He says, "Boy, this soup is good." He says, "You know how hard it is to get good snapper?" And I went, I feel your pain. And I said, "Oh, we still talking about soup?" And they all dropped their spoons and looked at me. So, anyhow.
Well, we have a bonus question.
Okay.
What was John Adams' wife's name? This is American history, but it's a bonus question, so it's okay.
I can't. I know it's not Betsy.
No, that was Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross, right? John Adams, Mrs. Adams? No. I have no idea.
Abigail.
Abigail Adams.
Yeah. See, now
Okay.
it clicks. You're like, oh, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of snappers in this area, snapper turtles in this area, and I mean some big snapper turtles in this area. So they do catch them here. And not too many places have snapper soup anymore. So when you find a place that has good snapper soup, oh my goodness.
Is it like an
is so good.
endangered thing? Like it's...
No, I just think people are like, who wants to eat snapper soup? I just think
do.
people...
I'm kind of tired of the meat choices that we always have available. Like, switch it up.
Right. I mean, it's not a real meaty soup. It's more, it's like clam chowder. You know how clam chowder has not a whole lot of clams in it?
Yeah.
But it's got like a flavor to it. Well, that's how snapper soup is, kind of, sort of. Yeah. Well, at least the stuff I've always had. Where I used to go down that we call it the shore. Most people call it going to the beach. There's a road that goes into the island, the barrier island, and all these snapper turtles would walk across, and people would run them over. And there would be hundreds of them just run over in the road. And so they've had the sign up that said turtle Xing. I said, yeah, I know, because there's turtles Xed all over this damn road. But the thing about it was the seagulls loved it. They would run over a turtle, and then the seagulls would come in and grab the turtle and like pick it clean. So
seagulls eat turtles. That's news to me. That's so
seagulls will eat anything.
Wow.
One of the crazy things about seagulls was seagulls would go and they could see where a clam hole was, where it was breathing. And they would go in and they would dig in and get the clam. And then it would fly into the air, like real high, and drop it on the road. So it would break open. Those seagulls are pretty smart.
Yeah, I feel like seagulls could be our mascot for like the depths we'll go for a really good meal.
It's true. It's absolutely true. All right. So should we want to get into some Winning Wednesdays?
Let's do that.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
Ingrid says, lost 5 pounds. This is for 2 weeks, but still proud.
Tanya, who is a new member to our group, she says, I've been swimming every day except for one for over a week. That's great.
I'd love to get back in the pool. Claire says, 43 days doing 16-8 intermittent fasting. I have now lost 23 pounds in 7 weeks. That's amazing.
Wow.
Started to see some real progress in the Diamond Dallas
Page Yoga.
Page Yoga.
Yeah.
Muscles are loosening up and I'm getting more bendy.
I love it. Teresa says, still no days off from workouts and added cutting down 2 10-foot oleander trees with only hedge trimmers and a handsaw. The shrubs behind the pool are the result. And she shows us this beautiful view that she has. I don't even know how you're on a computer, Teresa, when you have this beautiful view.
I know. Oh, and look at that hot tub.
I know.
It looks amazing. Monica says, not a lot of wins lately, but still eating a healthy breakfast and lunch on weekdays. Well, again, that's a win.
That is. If I have one healthy meal, like I legitimately make a healthy meal and I eat it and I finish it, it's basically like giving me an Olympic medal. Like you might as well just put me on the podium and say, Emily, this is the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Mariana says, cut the drinks to once in 5 to 6 days. That's awesome. Oh, and she also replied, 2 weeks now. That's great.
There you go. And Sarah says, I guess not a weight-related win, but I've been listening to my body when it says it's a day to rest and recover. I've been feeling so energetic this past month, and I know I want to give myself breaks when needed. Not to live life like I did pre-pandemic. Self-care.
Yep. Self-care. And Dave says, I'm down 1 pound. All right.
Way to go. I think, did he get one of those Pelotonic bikes? Did he get one of them? Do you know?
I feel like I remember hearing that.
I think I did too. Or I know he has a stationary. I think he has a stationary bike.
Dave, when you're listening, let us know.
Yeah, and then I think
what you're doing.
I know, and then I know he has a regular bike that he's been dying to get out on.
Yeah, I know the regular bike one.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like it's either too cold, especially up in the north. It's either too cold or then it gets too darn hot.
Mm-hmm. I know. We only have about a month to 6 weeks in the fall and in the spring where Connecticut has perfect weather. But that's it. That is it.
All right, here we go.
Wait, we have one more.
Oh, where did that come from? My apologies. Someone snuck one in on us today.
Elizabeth says, only 10 minutes per day, but I finished 30-day yoga challenge from doyouyoga.com. That's great. Oh my goodness, 10 minutes a day. That's not an only. That's 10 minutes.
And then also, Brenda's in here. Water aerobics 5 times this week. Scale hasn't moved much, but I feel less squishy.
Ooh.
Huh. Okay.
Nice.
Well, there we go. That's our Winning Wednesdays.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. We love reading these. And you know what else I love? I love scrolling down and seeing all the support from people in the group, liking, commenting, giving little emojis to people to pep them up and to inspire them. So we really appreciate everybody in our group and all of our listeners. Thank you so much. You guys are the best.
Yep. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
All right. So I stepped on the scale on Monday and I was +5. And I was like, damn it. And, I should have known that because of the binge eating and all this other stuff. So I did my best. I'm still up 3. I lost 2 since Monday, but I said, when you go to that Monday scale, what I tried not to do was starve myself.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Water.
I wanted to make sure that you're not.
Yeah, I just kind of reined in the eating, checked my winded. I did go to 1 meal a day, but it wasn't as bad. Like, in other words, I went to 1 meal a day, trying to, rein in as much of the insulin resistance, so I could probably, burn some more. And I tried doing some more, more walking and stuff like that. So I took off 2 of the 5, and hopefully, oh my God, he might have to weigh me today. Ugh. I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I was feeling so much better. I didn't have as much anxiety anymore. Now we're getting ready to end, and I'm like, oh no.
Now you know the number, and maybe that scale will be different. Who knows?
Listen, I go to the doctors, and if they're not a weight loss doctor, they have the scale you stand on with the beam, like that beams thing. It goes like to 350. And I look at that thing, they go, oh, you want to get on the scale? I'm like, not if you don't want that thing broken. There's no way I can get on that. And I just give them my weight, and they're like, okay. So I got that embarrassment to go through. Yeah. Again, who cares? Who cares? All right, what about you? Did you?
So I'm still in maintenance mode, but it's funny. As soon as the stuff that happens during the week is not about me, and I'm shifting to other people, all of a sudden I lose weight because I'm not focused on me and trying to find things to make me feel better, which is food. But for me, when something like Mark's back goes out, or my son is potty training, or we're just tired, I kind of I lost 4 pounds this week, and I didn't.
Whoa!
I know. Wasn't meaning to. It just happened, but.
Whoops, wrong one. I'll tell you what, I'm horrible on the sound effects today.
You'll get better when you do sound effects with your therapist, John.
Yes. I'm a little
sound
rusty.
effects therapy. All right. I can't express how I feel, but I have the perfect sound effect. But yeah.
This is how my week has been.
Perfect.
Right?
When gifts became a thing, I know it's really supposed to be pronounced GIFs, but I say gifts. When gifts became a thing, I was like, this is great. This is exactly how I express myself, because I watched so much TV growing up that sometimes I don't know what's my voice anymore and what's the voice of like old sitcoms or Nick at Night or something.
When I was in my mid-20s, I used to talk in movie quotes.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything was a movie quote.
My ex-husband and I think half of our conversation were movie quotes, and we should have been talking about our relationship.
Well, that's true, too. Sometimes you just can't get the right movie quote.
Sometimes it's like, oh, can we just watch Kramer versus Kramer right now and deal with this that way?
Yeah, sometimes you can't handle the truth.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for listening. And if you want to join us in our Facebook group, it is hate2wait.com/Facebook. We'd love to have you there. Emily, as always, thank you for picking me up when I am so down. And thank you for everyone in the chat. We have 10 people in the chat. We love you all.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And until next time.
Later, waiters.